And that's where that pivotal point was, is I just had that one little moment that I realized I was a number, and I didn't want to do that anymore. And I wanted to build something for myself that I can truly be proud of and love what I do, no matter how much time I'm putting into it.
Hi, everybody. Grady Polson. Welcome to the America Agency. Hello, everybody. Grady Polson, the America Agency. So excited to have Dylan Priest on with us. Dylan has been with us for about 2 years now. Tremendous success in different industries, which I'm excited for him to share about. But I mean, I love using tabloid lines like "crack the code" and break the bank" and stuff like that. But dude, for you to be at the level of production you are at is truly something that takes grit and effort. I know you've got a partner. I know you've got systems, and I'm excited to dig into all of it. But Dylan has consistently written over $100,000 issue paid, not just submitted. He didn't get a couple big annuities, sent them off, and cross his fingers and posted about it. They got issued. They're on the IP report. They're in HCMS. He's been recognized for it. He's gotten bonuses for it, and life is good. And now he's excited to continue to grow. He's working on building his team, and he's also working on continually selling at that incredibly high level. So, but this is someone who's taken some licks and has made the decision to not get knocked down and let it keep him down. He's made a decision to push through and has become tremendously successful in this business. And the future is bright for you, bro. But I'm excited to dig into your business, your story, your sales process, and everything. But without further ado, I'd love for you to share a little bit about yourself and some background and how we got to this point today.
Yeah, so my name is Dylan Priest. I've been in sales for like 15 years or so. Started back in, like Rocket Mortgage days, selling like over the phone, just your normal typical things. Um, Got introduced to FFL from Ryan, right? Ryan Manrique. Ryan Manrique. I ignored it a little bit because I was like, I don't know. I kind of had a bad taste from like a captive agency prior, and just kind of hour-long Zoom calls and just bait and twist sales tactics. And like the gross comp was like 50%, right? And there's just had to be a better way of doing that. So I went back to mortgages because I was doing really well with that. And I realized that like I didn't want to be held to interest rates or a market, right? And the sales process was like super, super long, 30 days or more to get like a small little commission. But I ended up like messaging him back. I only had like $100 to spend 100 leads. So he kind of helped me out with some Alaska AIDS leads. So thank you, Ryan. And I was able to turn that into $600-700 and then keep growing that and reinvesting like I am now. And now we have a company that's doing 500 to $1 million in revenue every single year and still growing. So pretty crazy in 2 years. So thank you so much, Ryan. You're a blessing, and I wouldn't be here without you. So
That's awesome. I love Ryan. They built an amazing team in Morgan and Office and all the stuff that they're doing. Just awesome, awesome team. So, but let's dig in a tiny bit more. So I remember
yeah,
you shared with you were in mortgages. You ran a team of 300 people. You just
yep,
said you didn't want to be tied to interest rates and the fluctuations of market. Like, what was there's still people that are in mortgages making some money, right?
yeah.
But so what was it that insurance showed to you that helped you make that leap? Because it's what you knew. I'm sure you had a client list. You're probably making some overrides. You said you had a huge team you were overriding. Like, it takes a big commitment, especially with a family, to walk away from an income, walk away from a career.
Yeah, it was. So like my wife is my rock, right? Like if it wasn't for her, and I tell people this all the time, your partner is going to either make you or break you in what you want to do in life, right?
Amen.
And so I had a pivotal point where my wife's mom was going through cancer and living with us, and I was working 12, 14-hour days at, a very big company, which I won't name names, but I realized I was just a number to them when I was going through something very, very important, and I already had the time off, and they kept just calling, blowing me up, saying, come back, come back. So when I finally had the breaking point, I looked at my wife. I was like, "Hey, I am done with this. When can I like start working my way out?" And she was so excited to hear that. She's like, "Just do it now. Like we'll figure it out." and I went to be a broker as a mortgage person, and it was like 8% interest rates. It was super hard. So I was Ubering to get income while also getting clients at the airport to try and sell them, right? So like I was selling in my own Mercedes-Benz Uber card just to like make a profit and make something while studying for my life insurance exam, because I'm like, I need a new license that's going to like take me places and be able to be an actual roadmap and not be dictated by a credit score or like an interest rates going up high and then waiting 30, 40, 50 days. So I really started diving into that. And that's where that pivotal point was, is I just had that one little moment that I realized I was a number and I didn't want to do that anymore. And I wanted to build something for myself that I can truly be proud of and love what I do no matter how much time I'm putting into it.
Amen, bro. I love that for you and for your family.
Yeah, man.
So now you did share that you spent a little bit of time at a captive company. What was kind of your experience? Just because there's people that watch this that are watching that are deciding, do we want to be with this company? Should I leave where I'm at? Should I look at this? Like they just don't understand, right? Like I was blessed to have found FFL as the first company. I think God was like, he suffered enough as an entrepreneur selling, energy drinks and lotions and potions and trying to recruit people at the mall, like trying to do my MLMs and stuff, that he was like, all right, he's done suffering. We're going to give him FFL to start with. Like, so, but most people don't realize that we're the Tom Brady of insurance. If Tom Brady had a bunch of sold insurance and then had an agency and dominated everything and won 7 Super Bowls, that's FFL. But most people don't get to like join the Patriots during the historic run. We fortunately do. So I digress. How would you explain kind of your experience working at a captive place versus what you have the availability to do now?
So captive, non-captives are interesting, right? I think they're for different types of people. But when you're working at a captive company, what that means is that you're held to their products, their underwriting, their decision making, their commission structure, like everything that they want you to do. So it's great because like they were providing leads, but they were just super like bait and switchy almost. Um, the sales tax, the gross comp, like I said, was like 50% or lower. And like we're dialing all day. So Mondays were our dialing days, and we're just sitting there and hand dialing these leads. Hopefully that these like the old age veterans would like pick up the phone, and then we would like have a conversation with them, explain their veteran benefits, and then ultimately move them into a different product, right? And then it takes 6 7 weeks for it to underwrite, and then you get 50% of that, and then all this other crazy mess, and it's an hour-long Zoom process. So I couldn't truly be remote. I couldn't truly leave and like be in like Japan like I was in April and work. And have a conversation while I'm in a subway and closing somebody, right? I can't do that when I'm captive. I was literally held to my computer in a Zoom call, and I had to be in that Zoom if they showed or not. And I just was like, there's no way. Like, so I left and went back to mortgages, and then I'm like, I don't want to do this. And I hard pivoted back to FFL, found out it wasn't captive, found out that we had tons of carriers we can work with and partner with. And that truly gave me the freedom to be able to grow and build this into something I want to do.
That's awesome. You were in
Yeah.
Japan in April?
Yeah. So we went for 3 weeks. And dude, it was awesome. While we were in Japan for 3 weeks, I wrote 30,000 and paid for the whole trip and then some. And we were able to do whatever we wanted to. It was great.
Oh
But
my!
I was waking up at 4 a.m. because I was 12 a.m. here the day before. So I was a day ahead, and I was working 4 a.m. to 9 p.m. so I can meet 12 to 5 p.m. in other areas of the time the day previously, so I can still work appointments.
But that's commitment. That is something that we have the ability to do, right? If you were
Yep.
selling real estate, you'd be answering the call whenever and trying to push through title and dealing with the mortgage guy and finding out if they've got proper funding. And then, oh my God,
Yep.
they just applied for a new car loan the 2 days before it's supposed to close, and it messes the whole, you'd be dealing with the exact same stuff.
Yep.
This way, you do the sale and you get it deposited in 2 days while you're on the subway in Okinawa, checking out Danielson and Cobra Kai over there. So that's incredible. That's incredible. Okay.
Too cool.
All right. So I want to go right to the beginning and then get to present, and then let's get into some script stuff, because that's what's really going to take people. So Ryan gives you $600 worth of aged Alaska leads. Shout out Ryan for taking care of his new guy he's betting on. And shout out to you for dialing them, because that's the problem, right? I'll buy agents leads and they'll be like, oh, I'm waiting for the power dialer to come out. I'm like, dude, just call them. They're leads. I didn't rip a page out of the white pages and hand it to you. I bought these. These are Ethos Card abandonment leads. They're $18 a pop. I bought you 100 of them. Call them, make some money, right? So moving on, we're moving back. So you start dialing leads, then kind of fast forward through. How do you go from that to 100K months?
So let me get a drink here. So I think we gotta go back to like the very beginning of like my story where I got this grit and drive from. So like I had a lot of adversity and setbacks, even since I was really, really young. Right, my dad passed away to cancer when I was 9. My mom had to work 2, 3 jobs to stay afloat. I had teachers yelling at me in the hallway when I was like 9 years old, saying I was going to be dumb, a dropout, not going to do anything in society. Like, like hopefully that never happens now because that was the 90s, right? but like you're still like you're this 9-year-old kid getting told that you're going to be amount to nothing. And it lit a little spark in me. So I was like, no, like that's not going to be me. Like I'm the only male in my family. So like I have to do something. And then fast forward to high school, I found my love to sales. It doesn't discriminate where you came from or your background. And I can get paid. And what I felt was I was worth. And no matter how much time and effort I put into it, I would get paid accordingly to that. Right. And then 2016, it really all just flipped. To kind of give some context, my kid was like turning 1. I had a motorcycle accident. I had going up Yarnell, it's like North Place here, 2 lanes up. A truck dropped gravel. I fell down a mountain 40 feet, broke my back in 8 places. Had a pretty cool turtle cell though. A lot damaged my hips, lost my memory, forgot how to talk and walk, and like imagine having a conversation like this and you physically can't get it out, and like you're just struggling, or you can't tell your foot to move and you're dragging yourself through the floor to like change your kid's diaper, right? Because like you have responsibilities. So like, and I was the only sole income, so like I was constantly trying to push myself to go back to work and being told I can't because I'm living on disability, which is 30% of $10 an hour because commissions didn't matter. So like, you know at that point in time, you're either going to figure it out or lose everything. And it was either figure it out. So like food banks, random side jobs, hustle, get through the pain every other day. So I still limp a lot. My hips go out every once in a while, but it's just a constant reminder that if I can overcome that at 22, then I can just use this as a fuel and motivator that helps me set myself to very high standards and keep pushing myself. Because there's no excuses, because if I can do it, everyone can do it. There's no such thing as pity parties. You just gotta make the calls. And dialing, like this is your cell phone, this is your bank account, your ATM. Like you need money, just pick up the phone. What's the worst thing they're gonna do? Cuss you out and say no? Cool, move on to the next one, right? So how I got to that point is just grit and just keep putting the effort. And no matter how crazy life gets and how stressful it gets, I just know that if I put in the time and the effort, it's going to happen. And if I buy the leads and have the volume, there's no way you can't like win, because you're just calling people that need this. And this is truly like when you go through a life experience like this, it changes your perspective on how you're helping people with life insurance and the benefits of it. Because if I had this back then, I wouldn't be stressed. So I know that's kind of full circle. I'm not sure if I answered your question there, so I apologize. But
no, first off, we're so glad you're okay, and that's crazy experience, and the fact you've healed to the level you have is modern medicine's amazing, and holy cow. But to have made it through that, and weaker people would just go disability, it's free, let's just live on less, honey, this is free money now. We've met those clients. They're like, you're 32 and you make $800 a month for 12 years. How do you, okay. But you have made a decision to not let it hold you back, and to find a path and to develop the skills to win. And I loved you said that. So let's all just show him some love and drop win in the chat below and shout out for healing. Like, because that's a decision you had to make. And there was, I'm sure, therapy, there's medicine, there's vitamins, there's stretching, there's PT, there's all kinds of stuff that you had to endure. And you did, and now you're winning at one of the highest levels in society. And that's a decision you had to make, dude. So I'm so sorry that you had to go through that, but I'm so proud to see the man who you really are, that you're not someone who just gives up, because weaker people would.
Yeah,
So
I mean, to second that a little bit, like, eh, yeah, there's like you said, there's clients that give up, and there's people that give up and don't give up. But the thing is, like, yeah, you gotta take shots every day, or yeah, you gotta do things to maintain yourself. But if you don't like give up, then how can you lose? And you owe that to yourself and your family and just your life. And like, we can only change what we want to change, and it's up to us to do it, right? If we don't do it, then we're just gonna stay stagnant and complain about someone else's life. Why do that? Just own your own stuff. So,
amen, bro. I had a mentor say one time, he's like, if you want something bad enough in life, two things will happen. Either make it happen or you'll die. That's
yep,
it. You just keep going forward until you make it happen, or you hit the end of life. And so
yep.
you made it happen, man. So
And it's a blessing because it brought me to where I am today and it made me a stronger person. So that's all I can be grateful for.
yeah.
Is all God's plan. So
So if anyone's out there going through some stuff, don't go up to Yarnell in a motorcycle right now, but just understand that it could be a heck of a lot worse, and that your situation will pass, because things most often always do. And at the same time, work on developing you, whether it's personal development. It doesn't have to be insurance trainings with Grady on YouTube. It can be Jim Rohns and Brian Tracy's and Les Browns and Darren Hardy's and Mel Robbins and all these people that have a way to help us think and see and believe differently about ourselves. That's one of, I mean, I'd imagine there's a history of personal development in your life that you have subscribed to that has allowed you to think and believe the way you are. Is that true?
constant, like, I'm no different than other people, right? Like, I get depressed days, I get like unmotivated days where I don't want to do anything, but like, you just push yourself, right? So I'm constantly doing podcasts. I go to the gym every day to make sure I can stay moving and limber, right? And help yourself, because if you work out and take care of your body, you take care of yourself. And you have to put yourself first, because if you can't put yourself first and personally develop yourself, how can you truly develop other people or help a client? Like, you can't. You have to help yourself. You have to develop yourself so you can develop other people into great people.
Amen.